Hi, welcome to my weekly GameDev Log. This week I've been working on a colour match, like Fruit Ninja style game. So I'll just walk through the progress I've made. So day one I started with my work item tracking tool, getting that all in shape, sorting out what work items I wanted to work for that day and generally over the week. After that I then moved on to some of the scripting, getting used to how Unity works. And then once I'd finished that, I then moved on to some of the basic functionality. So I focused on getting the color changing functionality working in the most simple way possible at first, just getting the background that would change over time. Once I'd done that, I then moved on to importing some of the artwork that I'd created and essentially trying to set up the scene of how I think it was going to look. Moving into day two, I wanted to work on some of the slicing functionality. So the game has elements of it that are similar to the Fruit Ninja game. So I wanted to get this kind of blade swipe functionality down, at least visually. So then it would set me off for the next part, which would be interacting with some sort of ingredient or vegetable that's going to be thrown up in the air. Once I was happy with the slice functionality, I moved on to creating some artwork. So I began by getting some Google images to get some reference, and then I started sketching out what I wanted. I chose the tomatoes. It was like a round vegetable, fruit technically. So it was one of the easier ones. So I took the reference images and I started iterating over it, sketching it out first. Then I created the silhouette, and then just over time, just added a little bit more, added shadows, added highlights, things like that, until I was happy with it. Once I got the tomato completed, I just imported it into the scene to see what it looked like in the game. Okay, on day three, I decided I was going to do the spawning functionality. So currently I've got my one tomato ingredient that I'm going to have thrown up into the air. So I need some functionality that's going to do that. So I started off adding some spawn points and then randomizing those, adding a little bit of variability with the height and how much force was applied to them. Once I was happy with the ingredient spawning, I decided to move on to the actual interactions between the ingredients and the blade. So whenever there was a collision between the two, the tomato would simply just be destroyed as a game object. Day 4, I decided to change pace and work a little bit more on the user interface. So I decided to start with a main menu screen. I found some assets online for some simple buttons rather than making my own. So I started with the main menu screen and then I moved on to a level select screen. Once I'd got the two screens sorted visually, I then hooked them up so that all the buttons then linked to between the different scenes. On day 5, I decided to work on the heads-up display. So in the level, there was no way to know what current level you're on, what your score is, or anything like that. So I decided to create a little bar at the top that would show this information. During this, I was not happy with the colors, so I ended up tweaking with that a little bit. Ended up finding a color scheme that I actually preferred for the whole menu system. So I ended up going back and changing the main menu and select screen for this blue and yellow color scheme. Once I was happy with the heads-up display, I moved on to a start game screen. So at the beginning of the level, you need to know what color it is that you're targeting for. So you start on a particular color, and you start cooking the pot, but you need to know what color it is you're supposed to be aiming for. So this start screen would just show you that information. On day 6, I started working on the end game screen. So we've already got the start screen set up that shows you the color you're working towards, but when you start the game and then you start cooking, when you take your finger off, you need to have some indicator of how well you did compared to the target color. So this end game screen will just show you your color versus the target color side by side, and will eventually show you your score based on how close you matched. So that was everything this week. I'm pretty happy with the progress. I managed to get a kind of workflow going from main menu, level select into the game, and a very simple version of the game set up. So I'm really happy with that. If you want to see more, you can join me on Twitch or subscribe to my YouTube channel. I hope to see you all again. Bye now.